Hi everybody, this is Chef India and this is Sauce, Spice, and Smoke. Today we're gonna make a recipe that you're very familiar with. We're gonna be making beef and broccoli, something that you see on a lot of typical Asian takeout menus, and it's something that you can easily make at home. So broccoli's in season right now. I'm gonna show you how to make it, but first, we've got a special guest that's gonna help me in the kitchen cook today. Jazz.
Thank you.
Hi, Jasmine.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Welcome to the kitchen.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today.
Awesome.
All right, so you're gonna help me make this beef and broccoli. Number one, do you make or eat beef and broccoli or cook any of this type of stuff at home?
Yeah, I love to eat it. I love to eat it.
Okay.
I don't do a lot of cooking.
At all?
At all.
Why?
It's time. It's a lot about time.
Okay.
And I'm more so of a snacker. I like to snack more than I like to cook.
Okay.
So I still like to eat though.
All right, so before we talk about like truly what you can and cannot do and what you like, let's learn a little bit more about you. So who are you and what do you do?
So I'm Jazz, and I'm the creator of the Serve and Girl Company here in Atlanta, Georgia. The Serve and Girl Company is a brand that I created, a restaurant culture and lifestyle brand.
Dope.
To help restaurants train and develop their staff.
Nice.
So we're experts in talent, service, and guest experiences. I'm a foodie, so I'm always checking out places, and I just wanted to help us create more representation for Black professionals in this space.
Yes, yes. And so I met Jazz just doing a lot of different things, event-wise, at different restaurants, and she's a huge supporter, and I love her brand. So I wanted to have her come on and help me make this dish today. So, Jazz, we've got a couple different things going on, right? So let's kind of talk through our ingredients and see what we've got. This is a very, very easy recipe. Does it look easy based off the things that I have?
Okay.
A little bit?
This looks easy.
Okay, all right. So don't overthink it. You think beef and broccoli, it's a huge process. I can't do that, but yes, you can. This show is about showing you how easy it is to make things like this. Something that you would easily be like, oh, I'm gonna go to my local Asian place, Chinese takeout, and order this, but nah, you can make this at home. Really easy, really easy. So let's get into it. Ingredients. So let's talk about our spices first. We've got a couple different things. As always, we're gonna start with our salt and pepper. So we've got some salt, we got some pepper. We've learned that salt and pepper is the foundation of all flavoring and seasoning, so we're gonna have that. We've got some sweetness, we've got some brown sugar. So that's gonna help us with our beef and broccoli sauce. We've got some red chili. We're gonna add that to our sauce, and we've got some smoked paprika. So any of these things you use at all regularly? No? You don't cook, don't worry about it.
She's right. I just
You
use
just
salt.
you don't cook.
I'm
All
just
right.
a salt girl.
We've got some other elements. We've got some fresh garlic, which we're gonna chop up. That's gonna go in our sauce as well. We've got some cornstarch. So cornstarch is gonna help us thicken up our sauce. We're gonna make like a teriyaki base foundation that's gonna go with our beef and broccoli. Sauce is boss, right? And it's also clean. So we're going to make a sauce, and the cornstarch is gonna help us thicken things up. And then for a garnish, we've got like this sesame spice blend. So this is some sesame seeds blended in with a couple different spice elements like some toasted garlic. This is a brand of a product that I use all the time, but you could just go with some straight basic sesame seeds if you'd like. Okay, let's talk about our fresh ingredients here. So we've got a couple different things. We've got our beef. So this is flank steak. Flank steak is something that you probably have had. People grill it, comes out really tasty on the grill. You can make it with some chimichurri. That's one way of doing it, but it is a cut of beef that you can use in beef and broccoli. So we're gonna slice this down, and when we get ready to cook it, we're gonna pan sear it along with our other ingredients. The other main ingredient for this dish is broccoli. Now, how do you feel about broccoli?
I don't eat as much.
Okay.
I just,
No?
no, not as much, but
Yeah.
again, barely grocery shop.
Doesn't like broccoli, people.
I do. I'm like one of those, I'm the kind of person who buys produce and forgets to cook them.
Oh, no.
So I just try to preserve
Yeah.
it by
so
keeping it in the
today,
store.
once you learn how to cook this, you'll know what to do with your broccoli.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we also have some other aromatics. We've got some sweet peppers we're gonna cut down. We've got some ginger we're gonna cut down as well. And then we've got some green onion, which we usually would use as a garnish, which we will, but I'm also gonna cut some down to pan sear with the rest of our vegetables for this, okay? So now that we know what we're doing, we also have some tools that you should have. Cutting board, I've got a knife, some tongs, a whisk for our sauce, a peeler for our ginger, and then a good old kitchen towel just in case we need to clean up any mess. So before we do that, you know, let's think about some things. Almost forgot. Sometimes I do that. We've got some other things. So I've mentioned the teriyaki sauce. We're actually gonna build this with some ponzu. We've got some sesame oil. Boom, all right? Sesame oil is good for flavor and for heat. So this is gonna really help us sear up our flank steak and our vegetables really well. And then to eat with our beef and broccoli, we've got some white rice that we're gonna cook. So that completes our ingredients list. You wanna give it a try? We're gonna do this?
Yeah.
How you feel? Comfortable?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
We're ready.
She's ready to do it. Let's do it. So we are going to start by marinating our flank steak, but in order to do that, we're gonna build the sauce first, because not only is the sauce gonna be the foundation of the marination of the meat, but it's gonna be the sauce of the dish. So double purpose, but we're gonna build it in this bowl and then we're gonna marinate our flank steak. So let's do this. Let's start with some spices. So I'm gonna start salt and pepper. Salt and pepper is like the foundation of everything. I'm gonna do a couple tablespoons of salt and a little bit of pepper. So that goes in first. And then brown sugar. I'm gonna give 2 good spoons of that. We're gonna go with our red chili. Actually, we're gonna go with all of that. I kind of pre-measured some of this stuff. And then the same thing with the paprika. Okay, so now that we have this in here, we're going to go ahead and add like the wet ingredients, which is ponzu. So I like ponzu a lot because it's citrus, and citrus it's in season right now, and you know, it's a soy sauce that kind of elevates the flavor because of the citrus. So, you know, I use it often. So we're going to add a good bit, but while I do that, let's chat, Jazz. So tell me more about your brand and what you got going on, and I understand what that might mean for people that you could do business with, but what does that mean for the average everyday consumer based off what you do?
I think for the average everyday consumer, they get a chance to experience an elevated dining experience, essentially, because when you think about going out to eat, you know, a lot of times you kind of take what you're given. You don't necessarily have control of the experience, and sometimes you're not even asked questions on what you want, or you're not even offered different suggestions, or, you know, it's just sometimes service can fall flat. So I think for the everyday person, they get a chance to see what it takes to really curate an experience where it's worth what they paid for. So I think from that perspective is why I love doing it, because I've been able to know now, since I work in the industry, I worked for 10 years, what really makes people happy. You know, so if you're going out to celebrate your birthday or anniversary, you know, being offered a complimentary glass of bubbles makes people happy.
Oh, that makes me totally happy.
Right, so it's like a simple joy or pleasure that a lot of people don't get to experience, and they should. You know, it's a special moment.
Where's some of your best places that you've either worked or partnered with? And in the meantime, I'm gonna add some cornstarch to my sauce here. This is gonna help with thickening. But go ahead, your favorite place.
My first client, which was 7th and Grove, they're out in Tampa. I would say in terms of creating an experience, they were very intentional about wanting to create an environment that was culturally immersive to what was going on in Tampa. And because there was not a lot of other Black-owned restaurants in that area, they kind of set the standard for what you can expect, you know? So I enjoyed working with them for that. And here in Atlanta, I feel like I can't really think of anything off the top of my head, to be honest, because they need to work with me.
Y'all need to work with her, Atlanta. Well, that's fine. So
I enjoy Poppy's. I know Poppy's is a Cuban Caribbean girl restaurant.
Yes.
That's like my favorite place because it's authentic.
Yes.
And I always feel like I'm in Miami or South Florida where I'm from. So
Okay.
I like places that are authentic.
Nice. So we're gonna try to make this authentic beef and broccoli. Okay. So we've got our foundation of our sauce. This is going to be a marinade, and it's also going to be a thickening agent for when we get our vegetables and everything kind of sauteed down in our pan. And so we're going to just pour a little bit over our flank steak for marination. So I'm just going to do like that. Boom. So again, this is going to come together in the pan. So really, I'm just going to take my fingers and then we're going to flip it. We're going to massage it, give it some love. Don't be afraid to touch your meat. If you feel a certain type of way about it, put on some gloves. But I like to make sure I have a sense and a feel for texture and making sure that everything is incorporated. So this is going to hang out for a bit while we go ahead and start chopping our vegetables. All right, so now we're going to chop and prep all of our ingredients that need to go into this dish. We've marinated our flank steak, that's hanging out, that's gonna be good to go. And in the meantime, Jazz, we're gonna start cutting some stuff. So we're gonna start with our green onion here. So green onion can be used for garnish. I'm gonna reserve some for garnish, this is why I have this bowl here. But I'm actually going to utilize it to kind of saute up the vegetables and stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut off all the ends. So we're gonna just line them up. Boom. We're gonna get rid of those pieces. And then we're going to basically kind of cut through the rest of this. So rough chop, doesn't have to be pretty, but I am going for small pieces and they may roll, so don't worry about that. And as I'm cutting, I'm just kind of pulling my fingers back so I don't cut myself. Cooking and knife tips 101. You don't want to cut yourself. So again, rough is fine. I'm just going to work my knife through and here we go. Easy, right? So I'm just going to take a good bit of it, put it in a bowl, and then I'm going to reserve some of these other pieces for garnish. All right, next, garlic. How much do you love garlic?
I'm not crazy about that.
Why not?
I just feel like I can never really taste garlic. Now that could just be, you know, I really can't explain it, but I don't know if I like the chunks of more or just like the flavoring, but I can do garlic.
Okay. I love garlic, unfortunately. So we're using a lot of garlic. I think I just use about 6 to 7 garlic cloves. Now, if you don't love garlic, you can definitely use less, but I like garlic, so I'm gonna use a lot of it. But the reason why I use a lot of garlic because you do have that flavor profile, but you know, to kind of like hold up against some of the sesame oil and some of those other flavors, you kind of need a whole lot of it. So we're gonna just chop this down. I am actually mincing this, just taking my chef knife and running through it. I don't want huge pieces, but just enough to where when you bite into it, if you don't love garlic, you won't be like upset about it.
So what do you think about the jar garlic that you can buy in store?
Okay, so we talk about things like that on the show a lot, right? Because I'm a big proponent of being able to do things yourself. Like, it doesn't take much for you to just take your knife, go through a couple cloves of garlic, and mince your own garlic. However, however, I'm all about some corners you can cut, not all of them, and I'm actually okay with the minced garlic that you get in the jar at the store if you don't want to like worry about this part, because it does take some time. As you can see, I'm running through this a good bit to kind of get down, and then I've got some big chunks that I need to get down to the size that I want. So to save me a couple minutes, if I had that jar, I would just take a dollop or two and then put that into the rest of my ingredients. But I'm almost there here, so we're good. And I'm just gonna take this and then add this to our bowl.
You're gonna add everything.
I'm gonna add everything to our bowl. Everything kind of goes in the pool. So, do you use a lot of that jarred garlic at home?
I used to, but again, current season of my life, it's not necessary. It's not necessary. I actually do value more like fresh garlic at this point. If I'm gonna do it.
Cool. What about ginger?
I love ginger.
Okay.
However, I'm not someone who just like works with ginger. Like I like the flavor of ginger, so
Yeah.
I always take that in a cocktail or a beverage or something like
Cool.
that. So I love ginger.
Okay.
I still work with it.
So at home it's very easy. Take a vegetable peeler. All you gotta do is peel off the skin. So we're gonna do that.
Do you have to peel it?
Yes. I mean, you have to take off the skin in some manner if you're going to like cook with it. I would not suggest cooking ginger with the skin on. Now, if you are making some sort of something where it doesn't really matter, where you're not eating it, like say if you want to pickle something and you want to add some ginger to it, you can do that, as long as you're not eating it with the skin on. And so I'm just going to kind of clean up my mess here. Good handy kitchen towel. Put that there. All right, so now we have our fresh ginger, and I'm going to mince this down as well. And I don't think I need all of that. So this is about a tablespoon, and we're gonna mince this down just like we did the garlic.
Okay, sweet.
So as you can smell already,
Smells so good.
yeah, you know, again, it's one of those things you either love or you hate. Not everybody loves ginger. I don't hate it, but I don't really love it either. I'm kind of one of those in the middle people where it's got to be in the right thing for me to want to love it. Because if not, I'm just like, why is ginger in this? Why is ginger in this? But for this, it's perfect. We want that ginger flavor profile. And again, it just depends on how much you love or hate it. So you want to mince this down to where, again, when you cook it, when someone's putting it in their mouth and then biting down on it, it's like, okay, that's a good size for me to have in my mouth versus, oh my gosh, that's a big piece of ginger. So I think that's good. We're gonna put that in the pool as well. We're gonna keep moving forward. All right, we've got some sweet peppers here. Now these are sweet baby peppers. They don't have any heat to them at all. So we are just going to cut off the tops, and then we're just going to slice these, seeds and all. Very easy. We'll go for a yellow one. Now I'm doing this for color. Okay. So I've got some orange, I've got some yellow, and then I'm gonna cut up a red one.
So the other bell peppers have heat, or how are they different? They're just baby, one baby?
So they're different types of peppers. These are probably not in the same family, but basically pretty much the same thing. So there's so many different pepper varieties out there right now. Bell peppers don't really have any heat either. They're considered a sweet pepper. They're just in a different family and, you know, grown and shaped a different way. Like, so these are, we call them baby because of their size, but this is pretty much like grown. Okay, so we've got our peppers cut. We're gonna add those to the pool as well with everything else. And then last but not least, we're gonna cut our broccoli. Now, broccoli can be cut in a variety of different ways and be cooked a variety of different ways. We're going for florets. So what I usually do is just take the butt, kind of do like a main chop, and then kind of see like how I feel about the rest of these, you know. So some of them you just kind of could break apart if you'd like, but then when you get to the middle, you've got another like main piece here. So you just kind of cut it down some more, and that can help you like take your florets off a bit more. So we get that down to the babies, and then when you get to like the middle one, you can leave it like that. So just an easy way to make florets.
I've never done it that way.
How would you have done this?
I would have just started cutting.
You gotta have a plan.
Yeah, I would have just started cutting.
So again, I cut off the butt, and then once I feel like I need to cut a little bit more, we just kind of make another slice, and this will allow me to just with my hands. So you don't really have to do a whole lot of cutting. This is really just taking your fingers and just making sure you've got some good sized florets. Move those to the side. Again, cut your butt off. And then you've got,
changes everything.
yes. So once it gets to be like, oh, it's too hard to kind of break, just cut out some more, and then here you go. Easy peasy. All right, we'll leave that one the way it is. All right, so we've got our flank steak marinating. We've got our vegetables cut. Now it's time to cook. Ready?
Yes.
Let's do it. All right, so Jazz, start off with a wok. I'm using wok. You don't necessarily have to have a wok, but we need really high heat. And woks are great conductors. So we're going to turn on our flame. Right now I'm gonna set it to high, and then we're gonna add our sesame oil. Just enough to coat the bottom. We've got a couple things that are going in here, so we're gonna need a little bit. We're gonna go in with our aromatics first. And the reason why I keep referring to these as aromatics, because anytime you cook with these elements, you smell them immediately. Garlic, onion, peppers, that's what we're gonna be looking for. So I'm gonna go in with that first. I already got a little sizzle. Get all that goodness out of this pan. Okay. All right, I'm gonna do some toss. Make sure everything's kind of incorporated in that sesame oil, and then we're gonna let that cook for a bit. So really we're looking for great heat. You don't wanna burn your garlic, and you don't wanna burn your green onion. The peppers can handle it, so just take a good look and just keep an eye on your heat. If it's too hot, turn it down. Right now we wanna keep things on high. Reason why is because for our flank steak to be cooked and be really tender, we need really high heat. But first we're gonna cook these aromatics, and then we're gonna cook the broccoli. We'll set that aside, and then we'll reserve the pan or the wok for our steak. So this is gonna come together very nicely. You can start to smell. That's a few more minutes. So what we're gonna do is, once I feel like these are cooked, we're gonna take these out. Actually, I'm gonna add the broccoli in. We'll let that cook down along with it, and then we'll take all those out of the wok and then cook the steak by itself. And then once the steak is cooked, then we'll incorporate everything together with the sauce, and then we'll be good to go. So in the meantime, you wanna season as you go. So these vegetables don't have anything on them. We're gonna add some pepper. We're gonna add some salt, just a pinch. All right, so now I'm gonna add in my broccoli. Add in, make sure everybody can touch a portion of the bottom. So we've got all our aromatics on the bottom, but the steam's coming up, cooking the broccoli, and then we'll give it a few tosses and make sure the broccoli's cooked through. All right, so we have added our sauce. That's gonna be the foundation of this beef and broccoli dish. So I did that to kind of get some moisture in here and help this broccoli cook down a little bit more. And this is only gonna take a few more minutes. And then once this is done, we're gonna go ahead and add our steak. All right. A few more minutes in there with that sauce. Turn my heat down a little bit. Num 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 num. Jazz, what do you think so far?
Smells Smells amazing.
So, also the sauce kind of helps caramelize everything, get those spices incorporated into the broccoli and into the peppers and everything. And, create that flavor profile. This is sauce, spice, and smoke. You gotta be able to understand how important those elements are. We don't really have any smoky flavors to tuck in here today, but sauces and spices for sure. And we don't want to overcook our broccoli. It's going to cook more when you remove it from the heat anyway. So we're going to go ahead and take this out and put it back in our bowl here. And we're going to add this back once the steak is cooked, so no worries there. And it's okay if you have like remnants of the ingredients still in the pan as well, because it's all going together. More out. All right, that's good enough. All right, so I'm gonna make sure I have good heat. And now we're gonna go ahead and add our steak. So this has been seasoned, marinated, and then we cut it into strips. So we're gonna just go ahead and add these strips in. It's okay. And you should hear a sizzle. And we don't want to overcrowd our pan. I'm going to take a little bit more of this sesame oil, drizzle some more, and then we'll cook that up. Now I'll take that. All right, so we've got our flank steak cooked and, our second batch. So now we're gonna add in everything else, vegetables and all, sauce and all. We're gonna give this a good toss. Yum, 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 yummers. And we're good. Shall we plate it?
Yes. Yes.
All right, good. All right, so we have cooked beef and broccoli. Like, I'm sure you can't believe it, but we have. We took a very simple recipe that you may not have thought was really simple, and we made it in like, I don't know, what do you say, 20 minutes?
Yeah, it was. It was literally like easy.
Yeah, so, just to recap our steps, we basically made beef and broccoli with flank steak. We made a teriyaki-based sauce. We marinated it. We sliced it. We cooked it along with some broccoli, some peppers, and some other aromatics. We've got some white rice to eat along with it. So what do you say? You ready to try it?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, so I'm going to plate this dish. We're going to start with our white rice on the bottom. So I'm just going to take a good little bit. And we've got this really nice black bowls here. Make sure you've got enough. Good. So essentially creating a rice bowl, So we'll make sure our rice is in the bottom. Now we're gonna take this beautiful beef and broccoli situation and make sure we've got a good amount of everything and plus the juices. So we're gonna start here. We're just gonna layer everything on top. So beautiful. And everything on top is fine. Just want to make sure you get enough, right? And then what I'll do here, rinse that hand. We're gonna take our garnishes. So we've got that sesame mix and we've got some green onion that we reserved. So I'm gonna go in with a sprinkle of that sesame. Give it some color variation, some texture when you bite into it. And then some freshness, the green onion, just a little bit every now and then as far as where it's gonna go. And we're good. So, Jasmine.
Oh gosh.
Your beef and broccoli, ma'am. Take a bite and let us know what you think.
Okay. All right, it smells amazing, you guys. I'm not gonna lie, okay? So let's see if I can get everything
Yes, get everything in one bite
in one bite.
and let me know how you feel about it. Okay. So, look, she had to turn around to really get into it.
It's really good. It feels light. It's crunchy. I love the crunch from the broccoli.
Yes, so the key is to not overcook your broccoli. I think people overcook their broccoli, so you should be able to have like some tenderness in the heads of it, but in the body, in the floret stalk, you should have some crunch to it. Yeah,
Good stuff. Good.
So I mean, you look like you're enjoying it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and make a second bowl.
Please.
Yeah,
join
let's
me.
do it. All right, guys, we have made beef and broccoli today. It was super easy. It's super delicious. Jazz, would you make this yourself now that you know how, or would you go to your local Chinese takeout and order it instead?
No, I would definitely make this, and I would definitely add your sauces too that are gonna come out. So I'll be on the lookout for that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. In the meantime, let us know how we can connect with you online.
Yes, you all can follow me on Instagram at The Serving Girl and The Serving Girl Company at theservinggirl.co.
Awesome. And as always, you can follow me online at chefindia.co or at saucequeen.co, where we'll be releasing some amazing merch and some amazing sauce products coming soon. So I can't wait to show you guys and tell you guys all about that. As always, like and subscribe. If you like this show and you want to see more, subscribe, and we'll be notifying you guys when more episodes will be available. And hope you all watch. Enjoy the time today. And, let's get into this beef and broth. That's so good. That's good. It is good. I don't need to ever order this again. I'm just going to make it all the time, as you should too.